I'm here with a very special guest at the moment. This is someone I get asked about more than anyone else I've worked with in late night. Wherever I go in the world, probably once a day, people come up to me and say, "What's the deal with Jordan Schlansky?" He is a phenomenon. So I thought I'd have Jordan come in, sit down, and maybe we'd talk about this and see if we can't figure out what this relationship is really all about. So sitting here is Jordan Schlansky. Hello, Jordan.
Hi.
Are you close enough to the microphone?
You have to tell me. That's not my responsibility.
Okay. Well, why don't you put the microphone a little closer to your mouth? You are being an incredible prick already.
I didn't realize I was functioning as an audio engineer, but I'm happy to comply.
Okay. I'm not an audio engineer,
Right.
but I could tell immediately.
I don't know how these are calibrated. You've been in this studio many times. This is my first appearance.
Okay. If you're listening right now and you're driving and you're clenching the wheel angrily, I apologize. That's because, like me, when someone comes on and takes an arrogant, inhuman tone, you get upset.
Why would you assume I know how many inches this is meant to be from my mouth? That's like quite an assumption.
That's a great
you
sentence.
Point towards a chair. You point towards a
How
chair.
many inches is this from my mouth? You just opened yourself up to, I mean, if the impractical jokers right now were on the line, they'd be having a blast. How many inches is this from my mouth? Jordan, let's get started. Before you get combative or strange, please answer these questions succinctly. How did you come to work for me? Do you remember the year?
I do. The year was 1994. I was an unpaid intern initially, and then I was hired to continue my employment.
Okay. So you started out as an intern, and then some fucking idiot decided to hire you on permanently, and you were paid. And then eventually you got a title on the show, which was?
Oh, I don't remember what I started at. There were numerous titles.
Yes, I'm sure there were numerous. What was the title you ended up with?
Associate producer.
Right. Man, if there's ever been a vague term, it would have to be associate producer, because we started using you on the show. And when I say using you, I mean featuring you as a personality, because you're so unusual. I think it was Frank Smiley. I'll give Frank Smiley the credit. Frank Smiley, longtime producer on our show, said, "Jordan's fascinating. We need to get him on camera." I thought that was kind of immoral, in a way, to take advantage of someone with your limitations and exploit you. But Frank was determined, and we did. And so I also blame Frank for empowering you. Frank's here, by the way. Frank,
well,
do you remember Jordan worked on the show, and
yes.
then you one day said, we got to get this guy on camera?
Well, I mean, it's an easy softball for you to hit out of the park every time.
Because we had this relationship and it wasn't being recorded.
Yes, the relationship that people see in these remotes was basically going on in the office every single day.
Yes. And people think, oh, is this an act? No, it's not an act, because it was going on for several years before you even thought to put this on camera.
That's right. It was during the writer's strike when we were desperate for
material that didn't need any writing.
Yes.
You just needed me and Jordan in a room together, and stuff would start to happen.
Right.
Because he's so naturally provocative.
Yes. There's nobody like Jordan, and he's a strange man.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that America loves him.
Yeah. America has taken you to its collective bosom. I do mean bosom. Jordan, I swear to God, almost every day people ask me what's the deal with Jordan. My son loves In-N-Out, the In-N-Out hamburger chain here in California. And a bunch of years ago, we're passing one, and my son is really hungry, and he says, "Hey, can we go to In-N-Out?" And I say, "Sure thing." So we pull over into the parking lot, and my son goes in to place his order, and I'm standing outside the car. A truck, a semi-truck, screeches to a halt. The driver puts it in neutral and puts on the emergency brake, jumps out and runs across the highway and says to me, "I just have to know, is Jordan real?" That's the kind of, this guy put his life in danger to find out if you are real. I still don't have the answer. I still don't know exactly what you did on our show. What does an associate producer do? What was your job? What did you do for us? Why did we pay you?
Well, across the entertainment industry, the title associate producer is somewhat variable. I had a multitude of responsibilities geared towards the smooth operation of the show.
Okay, again, what a cloud of nonsense.
Well, I could tell you what one of my responsibilities was not, and that was not to explain to you what I do.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that was not your job. Let me explain to people listening right now, if you're familiar at all with the defense mechanisms behind a modern nuclear sub. Here's how it works. If it's attacked, what happens is that the enemy ship fires a torpedo at it that homes in on the large metallic structure that is the sub. As it gets close, one of the things that the sub that's being attacked can do is it can shoot out a lot of metal shards and junk out of the side, and that distracts the missile, so it veers off and attacks the junk that's been emitted and doesn't hit the actual sub. That's what you do. Every time I ask you, what do you do for a job, you open your mouth and you eject a bunch of bullshit, and it misdirects the question. The question explodes harmlessly off in the briny deep, and your sub is saved. And
you seem to take pride in your own ignorance as to my responsibilities, as if this is something you should be bragging about, not understanding what your employees do. It's not my responsibility to explain to you and to belabor every detail of what I do. The real question is, what are you doing right now? What are you doing to fill your time?
I'm doing a Sirius XM. Do you realize what an honor it is to get Channel 106? Do you know it was on Channel 106 before I took it over?
Do you consider this a full-time occupation?
I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. And I think you're just bitter that you're not able to skim any of your own cashola off my Sirius XM gig. I think you're angry that you can't be associate producer of Sirius XM Channel 106.
I'm indifferent. I'm here to answer the questions that you ask me.
Well, I love it when indifferent people start shouting at me. I'm completely indifferent, asshole!